Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ralph Flores, and I'd like to thank everyone for attending our Building Community Through Baseball Coaches Clinic. Before I get started, there's a couple people that I'd like to thank, and they are Anthony Spangler and Reyes Maldonado for helping us out. Then I'd like to give a special thanks and recognize our Mayor Anthony Copeland, for sponsoring this entire event for us, and they're also sponsoring our kids clinic that we're having a camp on Saturday, so thank you, Mayor. Before we get started, the park department asked me to just kind of give a plug to some of the events that are coming up here in town. We have the Earth Day, and we also have a very good program surrounding the arts, free art classes and various different types of classes going on. So if you know of anybody that is interested, or if you're interested, please do take part. The Building Community Through Baseball initiative is basically two-pronged. The first prong is the $5.5 million investment that Mayor Copeland and the Park Department have made and are making to Block Stadium. That particular project is three-phased. The first phase is complete. The second phase is going to start any day, and the second phase includes the build-out of the locker rooms for the home and visitors dugouts. And those locker rooms are going to lead into the dugout, so it's going to be very nice setup for the teams that do play there. That particular phase is going to end right around September, October, and then the construction crew has informed me that the city has instructed them that they want to start phase 3 right away, so that the project is complete in the spring of 2020. So with this project being complete the spring of 2020, that means our East Chicago Central baseball team, we have Coach Antiveros and Coach Rosado with us. That's going to be their home field next year, and I'm sure they're happy about that. And then we're also working right now on bringing in possibly a college wooden bat league team to the stadium to call East Chicago and Block Stadium their home. That's early in talks, but that's something that we feel is going to happen, and East Chicago is going to have a team next year that you can come out and cheer. But in order for Block Stadium to be a complete success, we have to build a strong youth program, which is basically the foundation for everything we're doing here. Developing our youth is the #1 reason for this initiative. And working with our Little League and youth programs to promote the sport of baseball and to give our children the experience of being on a team and having fun. When I look back at my life, some of the most memorable moments happen while being part of a team. And being part of a team helps you to learn discipline, how to work with others, how to win, and also teaches you how to lose. And so many life lessons occur when you're in between those lines and you're fighting with the team. So what we've done is to bring 5 individuals to East Chicago who have been part of a team their entire lives. And they have dedicated their lives to this great sport of baseball. And so what we're doing, we're trying to build relationships with individuals like this so that it'll springboard us to further develop the game of baseball in our city. So with that being said, I'd like to call up the first speaker. That is Mr. Bill Brick. Bill, can you come on up? Thanks, buddy.
I want to thank Ralph for having me here.
You're welcome.
And I got allergies, so I'm not crying, but I'm just wetting my eyes. So, I was thinking about this today, and I've been in the game for more than 50 years. Because Father Andy taught me not me, just me. He taught Jim Weber, who lived down the street from me. I lived at 8601 Essex. I still remember where I lived, and we were renting. And I didn't care because I was having fun. And I married my second wife, Jackie Chess. Her name used to be Cheskoviak. My name was Brzezinski. And I asked my grandfather if I could shorten it because it didn't fit on my uniform. So, anyway, so Father Andy taught me how to play baseball. We had the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's. We had 4 teams. And that was like in 2nd or 3rd grade. And he taught Jim Weber. He was 2 years younger than me. He was a left-hand pitcher. He got a little time with the Cubs organization. I had a little time with the Senator organization, a little time with the Met organization, and a little time with the Dodgers in Vero Beach. That's when I thought that's before Tommy John surgery. So, and then I became the head coach of Thornton Junior College. I was going there to school, and they made me the coach. And the most I ever made was $2,000 a year. But I didn't care because I was a part-time scout for Bill Clark with the Reds. And that's where I learned to run tryout camps. And I've been still running tryout camps ever since then. And, you know, I had one at Block Stadium. And that was when I was working for the Pirates. And I asked LaTroy Hawkins, I said, "What position are you?" He says, "I'm a back catcher." I said, "You're a what?" Oh, and I said, "Get back there." And he threw one down to second base. I said, "Get on the mound." And he was only 16. His first pitch was 90, and my part-time guy was Tom Bernard, and he goes, 90! It was in the Hammond Times the next day. So
I'd like to share a story. I met Bill 2 years ago, and I was in desperate need of some assistance because the Serbia national baseball team had a request to bring them over. And when they came off the plane and they landed in the United States, I went to the practice and I'm like, oh my God, we're in trouble. We have no pitching at all. It'll be a disaster. So Bill, I wound up getting connected to Bill, and Bill connected me to Anthony, and Anthony got me my whole staff.
You had Tony too?
Yeah. And so he gets me my whole staff and saves, these 2 men basically saved the day, because if we would have went out there with that pitching staff for Serbia, it would have been a laughing stock of the whole United States. So we wound up being very competitive and had a great tournament. But this man right here is, once he becomes your friend, he'll do anything for you. I had a practice, and he's like, I want to show up to the Serbia practice. And he sees the young guy, he's like 17, 18 years old, the brightest star that they have in pitching. He said, that guy looks like he could be all right, but get him on the mound. And I said, all right. So we get him on the mound, kid throwing, he's 16, I think he was 16. He's throwing, and they got the gun on him, and he hits, I think he was hitting like 78. Consistently, 78, 78, 78. And he goes, all right, turn the gun off. And he just adjusted 2 or 3 things, kid starts throwing. And then he gets it to where he perfects the couple things that he just adjusted. Put the gun back on. Boom, hitting 82. Boom, boom, boom. 5 miles an hour in 5 minutes. That's what this man can do. And that's big. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get him involved, because he's the type of guy that come out and work with our kids for nothing. And he'll improve them very quickly. So, I appreciate it.
I scouted Bobby Morse, and he had a shorter swing than his brother. You did. Well, your brother's taller and he's got longer arms.
He's a big dude.
But I want to talk about my friend here, Mr. Tornicasa. He led me to a lot of good players as a scout. One of them was Ralph Flores. And one time I said, this guy was a hothead. I said, I ain't going to sign this guy. And what'd you tell me?
Told you if he shows it to you once, it's in there.
Yeah, you sure did. And I said, you're
That's part
right.
of my speech, man. You just
Well, he was a 53rd round pick, but he played a long time in the big leagues. And this guy, he's a good man, let me tell you. You got a good man here. And he knows the game. And one more thing. You know, this game is tough to play. And now these guys, when I was pitching, I probably wouldn't have made it anyway, but there was only 16 teams, now there's 30 teams. And some of our Americans, they don't try as hard as they should, you know? So we need good coaches to teach them the right way. And I mean, I don't care how hard you throw, you got to throw it over. You know, and some of these guys don't know, they don't know how to fix themselves. You got to learn how to fix yourself. Hitting and pitching, Bobby will tell you the same way. Tom will tell you the same thing. If you open up, if you break in front of the rubber, look what happens. If you stay back here, you got a better deception, and you'll throw harder. And if you step in the bucket, you run away from your power. Same thing. If you open up too soon, look at, hey, here, hit this ball. So that's, I mean, it's all this technical stuff. I'm not old enough. I'm old enough that I can learn. Yes, I can. But sometimes I just scratch my head because you got guys that can hit short swings. You know, I mean, I don't care if you got a weakness. That's how you gonna find out if you don't go to the ball game. I don't care. Launch angles, all this stuff. Short approach, short swing.
You're taking his
he's killing me. I got no chance.
I should have done.
All right, our next speaker is Tom Tornicasa. Again, Tom was recently retired Major League hitting coach with the Los Angeles Angels organization.
Well, like I said, he's a tough guy to follow. He killed half of my speech. You know what? I had these cards filled out. Right? And I said, and last night I was writing this down so I remember some of this stuff, and you killed it, man. No, but I'd like to thank Ralph for inviting me here, and I would like to thank Bill Brick. He gave me an opportunity to scout and coach. I met Bill back in '89, and he was scouting for the Pirates back then, and he taught me a lot about this. One was focus more on what a player can do rather than what he can't do, so be positive. And the other one that you stole my line was, if you see it once, it's in there. But it's all about him giving people a chance, you know. So he's been doing that his whole career, and that's why he's in the Scouting Hall of Fame. I don't know if you people know that. But in '98, Bill knew I wanted to get on the field, so he got me a job, a coaching job independently with Mel. But in 2000, Kevin Towers, who's no longer with us, asked Bill to take a job, field coordinator's job. And Bill brought me along. I've been riding this guy's coattails for as long as I've been in coaching and scouting. But
You know, you made me look good a lot of times.
I don't know, we'll find out. But then in 2010, I think that's when you went with Diamondbacks, when you got back with Kevin.
Yeah.
I stayed with the Padres, and that was the first time I was really away from Bill. You know, I stayed with the Padres until 2014, and then my last year was 2016. That's the year I retired. But like I said, I owe a lot to this man. He gives people all the opportunities that they need to have success. So, and I want to touch a couple quick things briefly about hitting. One is stride and separation. You know, the terminology changes all the time. Launch position, load, whatever it is. But the stride and separation is really the foundation of hitting. You can't expect a kid to hit if he's not in a position to hit. So I think we need to spend a little more time, especially at this level, to make sure that they get that opportunity, to give them a chance. Second thing I want to touch on briefly is timing. A rule of thumb that I use, and we're talking at this like little league level here. But as the ball's coming out, the hitter should be getting in a position to hit. So if he gets in a position to hit, you're going to see a lot better swings, and his pitch selection will be improved drastically. The last thing I want to kind of touch on is kind of what Billy was getting into at the end, is that I don't know how I want to say this, Billy, without offending people, but don't get caught up in all these fads and buzzwords that the propeller heads put out there. You know what a propeller head is? That's what Bill and I called analytical computer guys. So, but all I know is this: the game's still played on the field, and it's not a video game. So do what big businesses do and corporations do, stick with the fundamentals. So, and I do have one, I was telling Bobby about this. I have 2 grandkids that are playing Little League. And last year, at the beginning of the season, I watched a game or 2, and then all I kept seeing from the Little Leaguers were they'd be standing up there and it would be strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. I mean, they walked back to the dugout, half the kids were crying. You know, the coach is saying, oh, don't worry about it, but they didn't swing the bat one time. You know? And I witnessed it a lot, but what I did with my grandkids, because they were doing a little bit too, I took them in the backyard and I played this game with them. I told them, you get 10 pitches. I'm going to throw you 10 pitches. If you don't swing at a pitch, you're up. Next guy up. And we did that for a couple days. That the following day they had a game, and I told them for the next three days, next 3 games, I want you to swing at every pitch. I said, I don't care where it's at. And they played the first 2 games, and they were swinging at everything. They were getting hits. They mixed in a couple hits. The 3rd game, the older guy took 3 or 4 pitches. And after the game, I asked him, I said, why did you take those pitches? He says, because I couldn't hit them. And I said, exactly. By having a kid swing the bat, they're going to figure out what pitches they can hit and which pitches they can't. So especially at this level, I mean, you can't do that as you mature and get older. You can't do that. This is the time to learn that, to be aggressive at the plate. And by doing that, like I said, you're going to learn that strike zone. You're going to figure out what you can hit and what you can't. So that'd be a suggestion that I would advise you guys to kind of consider, especially maybe in practice. Say, hey man, swing the bat, swing it. That's the only way you're going to figure it out.
And Tom is going to be with us on Saturday, so he'll be giving the kids instruction Saturday on batting. The next speaker is Mr. Dave Lopez, current head coach for the women's softball team at Calumet College.
So, a little about myself. I've known Bobby for, 12, 13 years. He's been really good to myself and my son when he was younger, and my son actually used to catch bullpens for Bill when he was in high school and he was younger. He's currently playing locally at Purdue Northwest. So I've kind of been around the game of baseball and softball. Literally since I was 7 years old, I've either been on baseball or softball field every year since. I'm now 52 years old. I've been coaching 30 years at the high school or college level. My 7th season at the college. I coached high school for 23 years. I started coaching when I was 13 years old. Believe it or not, I started with my sister's team. By the time I was 18, I had my own team. I've done everything from t-ball to travel ball, baseball. I've done softball for Bobby with the 14U and 12U program, which we still have. I've just been very involved with the sport. I've been blessed to meet a lot of people. I played against him back in the day, and his cousins, and Legion ball. And so the point is you see how small the community is. It doesn't matter if you're baseball, softball, it's all about networking. That's one thing I have found out as a college coach. At the high school level, you go back in the day, how much the game has changed as far as softball and even baseball. But as far as my view, as far as softball goes, the game's changed because of travel ball. Back in the day, kids were getting recruited, and it's the same with baseball. Kids were getting recruited at high school games. I see maybe 5 or 10 high school games a year if I'm lucky. I think last year was the first year I saw more than 5 high school games. Years before that, I didn't see it because I was going to watch my son play. That was a little bit more important. So I did most of my recruiting over the summer and the fall. But my point is kids have more opportunities. These girls have more opportunities today than what they used to. I think when we were growing up, there really wasn't softball. Girls played Little League. They played baseball. And I think high school softball in the state of Indiana, if I'm correct, started in 1983. So it hasn't been around a long time at the high school level. It's growing. It's getting better. But today, I also feel like the high school games hurt a little bit because of travel ball. But at the same point, travel ball is also helping kids get into college. So it's one of those things. You have to find the right fit for your daughter. If you got kids that are playing the game, you got to find that right fit. But as far as coaching kids, obviously I'm doing it more on the amateur level and at the professional level, or I had the background of doing it at the professional level. But it varies. I think what he mentioned about staying positive with them. Point out the good. As coaches go, I had some really bad coaches, I had some really good coaches, but I learned something from each of those coaches. What I wanted to be like, what I didn't want to be like. So my advice to you as a coach is, go out and teach the game. Don't preach the game. That's one of my biggest things. Don't preach it, teach it. Because I think a lot of coaches, I go out and watch a lot of games, and I'm sure you guys get out there and watch a lot, and you see these coaches out there, all they're doing is yelling at the kids. Well, damn, pull them off the side, teach them. Show them, explain to them what they're doing wrong. You can be hard on them, but when they come off the field, and the listener can tell you, I can yell at you and hard on you when you're on the field, but when you come off, I'm going to try to talk to you and tell you, hey, you can do this different. You got to break them down, but you also got to build them up. And I think that's part of the problem right now in youth sports is these coaches that are coaching, they're just breaking them down. They're not teaching the game. They don't teach the fundamentals anymore. I see it at my level, the IQ, the softball IQ, it's gone. I don't know what it's like at the baseball level right now, but the IQ at the softball level is gone because I think these kids are so busy training and just playing every weekend that they're not practicing and getting those reps. And everything you do is about reps. You got to get those reps in. Those are some of the things as far as the coaching goes. I think you really need to teach them. If you're going to yell at them, then you better build them back up, and because you want these kids to stay in the game. You don't want them to leave the game. At some point, they're all going to leave when it's their time, when they make that choice. But I just think you need to teach them, be positive with them. Some of the necessities to build a successful program. Again, that varies from
We don't
age
have a
group.
program right now in Chicago, but there's 2 or 3 individuals in this room today that would love to see it and want to help build it. So if we can touch on that.
Again, it comes to getting them out there. You got to get them there first. Get them out there, make it fun. Show them that softball can be fun. A lot of kids don't know about softball, still to this day. I can tell you, I've done some, community work where a bunch of coaches, some former high school coaches and current high school coaches, and we've done some stuff down in Gary and brought the kids in, and the kids were just to put a glove on a hand for the first time and throw a ball. That's something you have to start with. You have to get them out there and invite them out there, and I'd be more than willing to get our girls out there and do stuff like that with them. We do it all the time. Just to get them out there and show them the game, teach you. That's the only way you're going to get it out there is you got to get them there first.
Yeah, Dave also has 4 of his girls that are going to be participating on Saturday as well. teaching the kids.
Four of my girls will be there, and one of my assistant coaches will be there on Saturday morning. I already had a prior engagement to go recruit a couple kids that are playing each other, so can't miss that. But yeah, you got to get them there first. You get them there, I'll be more than willing to come out and do work with them. And now this is, the head coach at the high school. This is a great opportunity, I think, for her as well to help build the program. Because it's a feeder system for the high school. And it's what I might be putting something on her plate that she ain't ready for, but I think she's ready for it. See, and I mean, I'm more than willing to help her. I've been doing it for a long time. I coached baseball too. Had a nice run with the Babe Ruth Cal Ripken team that made it to 2 World Series. I had many teams that won the ASA state champ. You don't know what ASA is? It's Amateur Softball Association. That used to be the big, to do. They're still sponsored. They're the ones that still sponsor like the Team USA and everything like that. But there's all these organizations now, just like baseball has. Bottom line is get them out there and play. I don't care where they're playing. Get them out there and play. Rec ball, travel ball, A ball, B ball. See, get them out there playing. That's what we need to do. We just need to get them out there playing. You got to. Get them there first.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Chicago, we're looking at another season of Little League. Let the games begin. We have rehabbed all of the fields. Block Stadium is getting ready to come online. A $5.5 million renovation of Block Stadium is going to mimic Wrigley Field. East Chicago, I just tell people our blessings just keep continuing.
Residents of East Chicago, we're here at the Kenny Lofton Little League Complex, and partaking in the Building Community Through Baseball initiative. And we have about 60 kids here getting instruction from various coaches from the professional level, all the college coaches, all the way down to high school coaches. It's a great program for the kids. We're here to try to build baseball in East Chicago. A wonderful facility that's being renovated here at Mayor Copeland and the Park Department have allocated millions of dollars to update Block Stadium, and in order for Block Stadium and to be a true success, we need to work on the foundation, and that is our children. So we're out here today, and these kids are having a great time and learning from some of the best people in baseball. Thanks. Take care.
Hello, my name is Anthony Spangler. I'm one of the coaches here. We're helping out. Our goal here is building community through baseball. With the development of Block Stadium, we hope to get a lot of youth initiatives here. We have about 60 or so kids out today. We're going through base running, hitting, pitching, infield, outfield. Ralph Flores put this together, and with sponsorship of Mayor Copeland, everything worked out good. We're gonna have hot dogs today too, also for the kids, and great turnout. Had the East Chicago High School coaches out, a lot of their players, so really got a good community thing going on right now, and hopefully we can keep developing this and make it a great thing for the city. So.
What's your age group?
6 and 5.
5 and 6.
I'm
Awesome.
5.
Okay, great.
I'm 5.
Okay. I just wanted to get an idea. Okay, what we're gonna be working on here is our infield drills. Listen up here, pay attention.
Wait, so we're going to do the normal baseball?
Yes, we're gonna do the normal stuff. So basically, does anyone know what an infield is?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, just so if you guys don't know what an infield is, you're all right. The infield is anywhere from home plate up to the edge of the dirt all this is considered the infield, okay? Okay? Anything on the grass past the dirt is called the outfield. So when you have outfielders, they're the ones that are positioned out there in the grass. All the infielders here, like Javi Baez and stuff, and Chris Bryant, those guys are playing in the infield, okay? So this is considered the infield. So what we're gonna go through now is basic fundamentals, if you're playing in the infield, how to receive the baseball and how to step and throw. Okay, very basic fundamentals, what you'll need if you're gonna continue playing baseball, you're gonna need these fundamentals, okay? So the first thing, very important, is keeping your glove on the ground, okay? Because in the infield, most of the times the baseballs that are gonna be coming towards you are gonna be ground balls, okay? So that your glove needs to be on the ground, okay, in order for you to field it, okay? So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna break up in two groups, one group over here and one group over here. Our volunteers here, our baseball players from the high school are gonna be rolling the baseballs to you, and we're gonna be showing you how to receive the ball properly. Is that okay? Awesome, great. All right, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, we're gonna have 5 on this side, we're gonna have 6 on this side, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the rest of you guys, let's jump on this side, okay? Come on guys, this way.
Zay.
How's it going? My name is Reyes Maldonado. I'm born and raised in Chicago. I just want to talk about this opportunity that I had to show these kids today. It was a really good blessing because we didn't get this opportunity when I was younger. So I feel like it's a very good thing for the community. I played baseball in college. I'm going to potentially be playing in pro ball. So I just feel like it was a great opportunity to come out here and show these kids what to do, how to do things the right way. And I feel like with this, it's going to build a foundation for East Chicago to bring baseball back within the community and hopefully bring our community together as a whole.
Tom Torricasa. I'm out here at Kenny Lofton Field, and we got a camp going on today, and we got a couple of hitters here that we're working with, and come out and enjoy it.
All we're gonna work on is ground balls, building ball, alligator. I know some of your coaches have been teaching you alligator. All right, move your feet, see in front of the ball, and let the ball go in your glove, and close it up like an alligator, right? Like his mouth. Then step and throw. Scene's overhand. All right. We're gonna get everybody in one line, and we're gonna roll the ball. Alligator. Okay. Who's over here? Malachi. Okay.
Hi, Coach Becerra here. Coach Perez here. We used to be baseball coaches for the Little League here when our kids were playing. Now we're both high school coaches. JV. He's a head junior varsity coach. I'm the assistant. We're just grateful we got the opportunity to come out, teach these kids, and give them some basic fundamentals playing baseball.
Yes, like Coach said, we started off 8 years in the Little League. Got the opportunity to go to the high school. I've been coaching at the high school for 13 years. Just here, doing whatever it takes to get one of these kids, possibility hit the big leagues. It's not about, the highlight or getting any kind of recognition. It's about our kids and making them better, even if it's just better as an adult in our community.